Hey everybody, Scott from Dark Side Racing. Just wanted to give everybody a little bit of an update. So the racing season's been over for about a month and a half. Let's see, it's October 27th, and we got done Labor Day. So yeah, about a month and a half, give or take. And got out of the season unscathed. The car is in great shape. Didn't have any major incidents. We don't really have to do anything significant to the car. Well, I don't want to say anything significant. We do have to do two very significant things, but it's nothing like we've had to do with the past couple years where it's almost a complete tear down, body off, and everything like that, to make adjustments and fix things that we didn't do properly in the first place. And so we have two things we have to do in the off season, and I'll get to that in a minute. But they're not anything to the degree of what we had to do the past couple seasons, which is, as far as a low budget single guy working in his garage team, that's immeasurable. The amount of stress that I am not going to have to go through in the off season is going to be great, and that's going to set us up really well for for being ready for preseason testing. We'll probably be able to get to at least 2, if not more, preseason tests, which is going to be awesome, and that's going to get us even off on a better footing for the 2024 season. So that's pretty badass. So pulled the car in the garage and kind of let it sit for a while. One of the only really thing that I did was to pull the rear end, and I'll get to all that in a second. Got that out of the car, got things measured and remeasured, and as far as the axle tubes and lengths and things like that, but like I said, I'll get to that in a minute. Just did a bunch of around the house projects that I needed to get done. I had to tear down a back deck, did it all by myself, just the enclosed portion of it. I redid it into just an open deck concept, did that all myself. So I got that under control, got kids swing sets built, I got a fence built in the backyard separating the girl side from the animal side, which is really going to set us up good for the spring so the girls can have a nice place to play in the playground. So got all that done, and now it's the end of October, and unlike the past few seasons where I just waited until January to start, we're starting right now. Because like I said, I only have a couple things that I have to get done, and if we could get those knocked out by the new year, that'll be great. That'll be completely awesome. So we started off the season okay. We started off running about 15 threes, 15 ones kind of out of the gate, and that's kind of where we ended last season. I think there was one race last season where we hit a 14.4, or no, a 14. I wish 14.4, 14.9, and so we started off the season good, 15.1, which isn't bad. It's not great, but it isn't awful. Dialed the car in a lot better, made some changes to it, and every week we made a little bit of an improvement. Took a lot of advice from a lot of really smart people, and we got the car handling better, and the car was going faster and faster and faster. One week we were down in the high, we just tapped into the 14.8s, which was awesome. That was a relief. To really start getting closer to the fast guys, and the fast guys are 14.4s, 14.5s on new tires, or the alien guys are always on 14.4s. But so we're 4/10ths off, and by the middle of the season we're just starting to get there, and then every week we just made changes, better the car. The car was cutting corners a heck of a lot better. We threw some major stuff at the rear end. just adjustments and changes, and messed up with not messed up, but messed around with the geometry and things like that. Really got to experiment. We had the front of the car doing what it was supposed to do, and just started working on the rear of the car. We went from a 300-pound right rear spring to a 325-pound right rear spring, and that woke the car up. That's when we went out and turned a high 14.8, and we knew we were on the right path. So, and then all of a sudden, after that, every change that we did that made the car handle better, not more comfortable, because you don't want to be comfortable in a race car. If the car is comfortable, it's slow. When I say the car, it was better, it cut through the corner better, it rotated through the center better. We always had like a push loose condition, and we really freed it up through the middle of the corner, and that helped a ton. Corner off, and but the times just got worse. We would lose a half a tenth or a tenth from one week to the next, and then like another tenth and a half for the last, the next week after that, and it just kept getting worse. That was like the last 4 weeks of the season. And then we got to the final race of the year, which is my second favorite race. My first favorite race is the fan appreciation night, where we get to go out on the track, and we don't do qualifying. We go out on the track and we meet everybody, we sign autographs, and we get to showcase our sponsors and things like that to the fans. And that's my favorite night. Second favorite night is Labor Day weekend, because it's the fair weekend, the Dickinson County Fair, and the stands are absolutely packed shoulder to shoulder. And it's a really great show because it's a 100-lap feature for us, for the super lates. And I love long races. I just love long races. And we were in practice, and we were like 15-3. And then come back in, and you check the car over, and then we went out and we did like a 14 or a 15-5 or something absurd. And come off the track, and it just sounded like the exhaust broke and was dragging on the ground. That's what it sounded like, just metal just dragging on the ground. Pulled into the pit slab and look under the thing, fully expecting to see something dragging, and didn't see anything. And quick backstory: beginning of the season, I changed the gear oil in the rear end, and it was a little shiny, and right there I said, you know what, this thing is probably on its way out. And the next time we changed the fluid, it was glitter. And I told the wife, I said, if this thing lasts for the rest of the season, it'll be a miracle. We're not going to be lucky, it's going to be a miracle. And lo and behold, put the thing up on the jacks, and you toss it in neutral, and you start spinning the rear tires, and it just sounded like gravel in there. So we lost the rear end in practice. And I wasn't going to go out there, because they said just go out there and run a couple laps, one green flag lap to get your money. And I told him, I said, your luck, you could go out there and do that. My luck, I go out there one lap, whatever's broken, absolutely grenades. It sends a freaking shock all the way through the drive line, blows up the transmission, snaps the crank in half. I'm not doing it. They can keep their $5 a point, because we went from $8 a point payout down to $5 a point. And needless to say, we really weren't thrilled about that. And I'm not going to go out there and risk thousands of dollars to win 100. 150, 200, point, $200. I ain't doing it. So yeah, we lost the rear end. So that's what we're doing. So the big thing that we have to do this weekend, or I should say this off season, is the rear end. We ordered a new one from Winters. It is here. We don't have to do anything to it. I paid left-hander to install the axle tubes and everything like that for an extra $100. Do it, please do it. Had them do that, and so that's all set up. Don't have to do nothing. So aside from putting it in the car. And that's what we're going to do in the off season. We're also going to do, we got a new instrument, all new instruments, because the last couple races, the water temperature pooped the bed, and you're going under caution, hitting it with your knuckles, trying to get the needle to move. And so we replaced that at the end of the last season, and then we just bought all new gauges for the 2024. So gonna do that, and that's gonna be what we're gonna be working on tonight. And I got an interesting way that I'm gonna do it, and I don't know if anybody else does it this way, but if you're a low budget racer, and you're low on time, or maybe you're just gonna look at this and you're gonna be like, hey, that's a really cool way of doing it. I'll show you that in a while. But right now, we're gonna hop on and make another video showing the rear end and what broke. And yeah, so see you in a minute.